This tutorial is going to walk you through a little bit about Soundtrap and using it for creating your podcast. So when you log into Soundtrap using your Indian Hill Schools Google account, you're going to go down and you're going to enter the studio to create a project. You want your entire podcast located within a single project. You can select a template. You don't really have to select any specific template. I'm just going to go with a blank one. And basically what you have here is the timeline of going through your project, and you're going to add tracks that include the sound you recorded and as well as sounds that you're going to add in. So the first thing let's do is we're actually going to bring in the sounds that have been pre-recorded. So if I'm adding a new track, if I'm adding sound in, I'm going to want to bring this in from a source where I've recorded from. So you're going to choose your file, saved your clips on. So for me, I just saved the clips into on my desktop, but putting them in your Google Drive is also probably a pretty good place to put them. You just need to find those and then add them into your project. So what you'll see then is when you press play, down at the bottom, you can see your different options here.
Intro. This is where my intro/hook is going to be. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but
so Mrs. Sutton was kind enough to record kind of a test clip for us to kind of put in so we could just get this trial out there. So you can add in your sound. You can change the length of it. So let's say I notice this silence, and you notice the sound wave here. Whenever that is flat, that's an area of silence. So if I wanted to cut down, because again, we talked about we don't want to have silence in our podcast, you can edit this to change the length of it, either the beginning or the end. So other things that you can add in, you can also move this. You can change the volume of it. You have a lot of different choices here for things that you can do with it. You can do fading in and fading out. Other things you can add in here besides just the sound clips, you can add in music. So if you click on the music icon over here, you can look, or you can use this browse loops. You can look at lots of different options for music that you can add in. So if you click on play, you can hear some of the different options. Maybe you know you're looking for a jazzy kind of sound, and it'll tell you what kind of instrument it is. But find something that fits the mood that you're trying to go for. And then you can do is you just drag it into your project. Again, you can edit the length of this. If you don't want it to loop so long, you can change the length to shorter or longer, or to shorten it and just shorten the pattern. Right now I'm shortening the pattern. I'm going to delete that. You can look for different sound groups. You can kind of combine them together. If I'm looking for something with bass that is rock, something with drums that is pop, and I can add that in and shorten it to the length I want. You have to decide, do you want music to play behind your voice? Do you want it to, so you make sure you have headphones and keep testing.
This is where my intro/hook is going to be.
By clicking the edit button, you can do fade in and fade out. So you'll see the difference now when I do this.
This is where my intro/hook is going to be.
So you might want to think about just the different options here. So I can keep adding different sound clips in. But you have to find the sounds that make the most sense to your program. And you can place those in. You can again add your sound files in. You're gonna have to kind of mess around and think about what you want the sounds to do. The big thing is everything that lines up on the timeline is what will be playing at the same time. So for instance, if right now I play this section here, if I play this section here, I'm gonna have multiple sounds. I have 3 sounds that I see that are gonna be happening at the same time.
This is where my intro slash.
So you wanna make sure if you wanna move this down, and I have not verified that these are the sounds I actually want, but you can edit, move things around, and that's how you're going to build your podcast.
Hook is going to be. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but once I get it in here, I'll put it in. To understand the life of Daniel Morgan, and
you can see that in general, it sounds a lot better to do, and the things I suggest you do are the fading in and fading out. So if I listen to that section again,
I'll put it in.
Instead of an abrupt end to your music.
To understand the life of Daniel Morgan and
you can layer the music over the top of your speaking, but what you might want to do is change that volume so that it's not, so I can turn it down so that it's not overtaking the speaking.
And Daniel Morgan, the person. One needs to understand the back.
So I might turn it up.
And Daniel Morgan, the person. One needs to understand
that the music can be a little distracting when it's behind. So this is kind of the basics of how you use Soundtrap. Good luck.